It's the same app, but one half of it basically gets distributed to your staff. The other gets distributed to your clients. It's an unlimited number of apps available, meaning that whether you've got 10 clients on it or 10,000 clients on it, it doesn't cost you a dime more. Same thing goes with the staff app. No matter how many members of your staff have downloaded it, it's not a problem. There's no additional charge. It doesn't matter how many are actually in it. So first thing that we're going to talk about is the client app. So on the client app, there are 6 original buttons. Everyone's is going to look a little bit different. You can see my screen there on the left. This is a screen capture from my phone. Yours would look different. It would obviously have the name of your business there instead of where it says your salon spa. That brown bar that you see there could have a very different color. The background image could be a very different background image. All of those things are going to be able to be your choice, because you can actually supply us with the artwork, or you can choose from artwork that we can supply you with. Okay, so the first thing that I want you to notice is that on the client version of the app, you have 6 main buttons to choose from: book appointment, purchase products, check your appointments, purchase gift cards, message us, and then my account. Now, under my account, they have 6 additional options that they'll be able to choose, which is update information, service history, retail history, membership status, gift card status, and series status. So we're going to start the demo with booking an appointment, your client's imagery of booking an appointment. So the first thing, when they click that button that says book appointment, it's going to ask them to choose a group. So with their finger, they're going to click choose a group. And when they do that, all of the groups that you allow to be booked online, only those that you allow to be booked online, by the way, so not necessarily every group you have, but every group that you allow to be booked online will appear, and they can scroll through this as well. So if you have more groups than what you see, they can use their finger to push it up, and additional groups will show. Once they click on one of those groups, then, so for instance, I may have chosen the facial care group, then they can click on choose a service. Again, all of the services within that group that you allow to be booked online will appear. And again, they can scroll through to choose whatever group they want, whatever service they want. So after choosing a service like the euphoric facial, that shows up again. You see the price, another item that can be changed. If you do not show your prices, it would just say euphoric facial, and it would not show a price. The price is going to be your default price, your salon and spa price. So it's not necessarily the price of the person that they're choosing. They haven't even chosen an operator yet. So after choosing their service, then they'll be asked to choose an operator. They'll click that, and your staff members will appear that can provide that service. Only the staff members that can provide that service will appear. And again, if you have more than what can be shown on the screen, they can scroll through it. So now that they've chosen an operator, in this case Carly, it asks them to choose a date. So they'll click on that, and this screen will appear. And they'll then be able to choose a date, and they can use the little left or right arrows to go to different months as well. So they don't just have to choose a date within the month that they're currently in. So they've chosen a date, they've got their group, their service, their operator, their date, and then they get to choose a time. They'll click check times, and the available times for that staff member will appear for that appointment based on the length of time that that appointment is, as well as what times that particular person has available. Now, Carly is wide open, so she's got a lot of availabilities, and again, they can scroll through to see all of them, and they can choose the one that they're interested in. If Carly only had 1 or 2 options available on that day, then only 1 or 2 options would have appeared. So they click on the one that they're interested in, and now I've got 10 a.m. with Carly here. After choosing the preferred time, press continue, et cetera, et cetera. If you choose book appointment, the next screen appears. So they hit continue after they've chosen their time. This is the screen that appears then. All of the things that they've selected. And it asks them whether they want to book an appointment, add an additional service, or hit start over, which would clear all of this out, and they'll start from the beginning again. So they would click on, for instance, book appointment. It will say that they've successfully booked their appointment. All of the information will be here, and they will receive an email. Now, my emails go to my phone, so it would have gone just like this. So on my phone, this was the screen that I received when I went through this process, and I did a screen capture of that as well. So here's the email that says that I've successfully booked, as well as the fact that on the app itself, it gives that information as well. And again, if they had hit start over, it would have returned them to the very beginning. So that is your client's, that's your client's experience of booking themselves an appointment. Now, your client's experience of checking their appointments is going to be quite different. So now we're going to look at that. Again, this one we're going to talk about check your appointments. So your customer clicks on the button that says check your appointments, and any appointments that they have from that date into the future will appear. They don't need to do anything. They just hit check my appointments, and the very next screen will either say there are no appointments found, or it will show any appointments that they have from that day into the future. And then they have an option. They can touch to confirm. They may just view it, and then they can go back to their main screen, or they could hit touch to confirm. If they do that, it will bring up this window that says you're about to confirm this appointment. So it gives the information, and then they can either return to the schedule or they can confirm their appointment. If they press confirm appointment, it will mark it not only confirmed on the app, but it will mark it confirmed right in your Transcend software, that it has been in fact confirmed by the customer, and at what date and what time that they actually clicked that button. Okay? So again, once they've done that, they can click on the back arrow, and that will return them to the main menu. So that's the client experience of checking their appointment. Next, we're going to take a look at your client experience of messaging the business. So if they press the box that says message us, then this screen appears that gives them the ability on their smartphone to type in a message. Now, if they press the call button, that's a little bit different. But they can type in a message and they can press send. So here I've got, I was hoping you would let me know if next Saturday you were expecting to be very busy. That's my message. I hit send, so it appears. On the Transcend side, meaning in your business, a message may have popped up. I say may have because you don't want messages to just automatically necessarily pop up if you've got 50 people sending you messages or 500 people sending you messages. They're all going to be popping up on your screen. Of course you don't want that. So instead, what will happen is this window, this messages from clients window, will appear, and a list of the clients who have sent you messages will be here. And you can click on any of them, and the message will be there. If it's just one, it will automatically default to that message. If there are additional, then they'll be there, and you can click on any of them and see the message. You can then type in your response and hit send. You can also hit client info, by the way, and it'll take you into the client information, because they may have asked you a question like, can you tell me what service I got last time I was there, or can you tell me what product I bought because I'm running low and I don't know, or I'm out and I threw the bottle away and now I can't remember exactly what it was, et cetera, whatever it may be. You can click on client info, get directly into their client information. But you can also type in a message and hit send. Like in this case, well, Saturdays are usually pretty busy, yes, but I have an opening with Jill at 1 who I see, you normally see when you're here. And I did that because I clicked on client info. Interested, she's got an hour. So I write a message like that, I hit send, the client instantly gets it on their smartphone. If they had closed the app before you responded to them, then they will get a badge in the upper left-hand corner of their smartphone, and it'll ding, bing, and they'll know that a message has been sent back to them. They can click on that tab and they'll see the message that you had sent to them. So that's what's going on there. That's your client experience with messaging you back and forth. Then we have My Account. In My Account, this is the one that I had mentioned to you, that they have 6 additional options. So if they were to click on My Account, they'll see this screen. Again, the background will look different. It's entirely up to you. But they have 6 new options: update info, service history, retail history, membership status, gift card status, and series status. So if they were to click on update information, this is the screen that will appear. And they're able to put in, they'll see the information you already have, and they can make any changes. Maybe they moved, maybe they got a different cell phone number, maybe they've changed their email address or their birthday or their anniversary, and they can press update. Now, not only will they be able to do this through their smartphone, but it will actually update their client file in Transcend. The next one is service history. If they click on service history, then a list of all of the services and the dates that they had received them will appear. starting with the most recent service that they received and going into the past. Again, if they've been seeing you for years and they've got dozens of, then this will be able to be scrolled through. So if it's larger than what they see there, they'd be able to scroll right through it and just see everything that they had ever gotten on every date that they had ever gotten it. If they choose retail history, same thing. It will show all of the different products that they had purchased and the prices. And again, as far into the past as they've ever been seeing you, so they may be able to scroll through to see dozens of different products that they've purchased from you. If they click on membership status, it will say one of two things. It will either say that no membership is found, meaning they're not a member, or it will show what type of membership they have, what they paid for it, how many points they've earned, how many points they've used, the date that they became a member, and their expiration date. If they choose gift card status, any gift certificates or gift cards that they own will appear, and with the original amount and the balance, which may very well be different than the original amount because they may have used some of it. And then finally, series status. If they have purchased a series from you, it will show what series they own, how many of those services are part that they purchased, and how many they have used. And if the series has an expiration, the expiration date will be there as well. That's your client experience on my account. Next, purchased gift certificate or gift card. Again, this would be from the main screen. They would click on the button that says purchase gift cards, and by doing so, it will then bring up a screen that may look something like this. They'll put in their recipient information and last name, the dollar amount, or they can select from a gift package if you have created gift packages. If you haven't, if they were to click on this, there would be no gift packages available. They can also write a personal message and then press continue. After doing so, so it may look something like this. This is the way they fill it out, and they press continue. After doing so, it'll take them to this window, which will then show who the recipient is, what the dollar amount is. They can add another certificate, or they can continue. By continuing, they'll now be able to put in all of their billing information. Now, not all of it is going to show on the screen. This they're going to scroll through to complete their purchase. So they'll fill it in. There's the additional. And after that, and by the way, your information down here as well, they hit process. They've already put in their credit card information. And of course, this is secure and encrypted. They put in their credit card information. They hit process. They, on their smartphone, will be given a screen that shows their new gift certificate number that can be scanned right there in your shop, right from their phone. So they don't need a card. They don't need a physical paper certificate. They can use it right from their phone. But they will also be sent an email. And the email may look something like this. Now, this is on my smartphone, but they may have received an email to their, maybe they open it up at home. And they can print out the gift certificate, or they could even forward it to their mother, their sister, whomever they may have purchased it for. So the gift certificate itself will not only be available on their smartphone, but it will also be available via email so that they can either open it, print it out, or forward it to somebody else. So I may have forwarded it to my wife.
Okay.
That is
May I ask
the client. Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
When they put in
I'll
their
take us
payment,
back to that page.
are we meant to set a separate page, or is that assuming that we do credit card through you guys?
Okay, you don't have to do brick and mortar credit card processing through us in order for this to work. But you do have to have, and you don't even actually need to have our credit card processing even for this, but what you do have to have is an authorized .NET account.
Okay.
With whomever your processor is. You must have an authorized .NET account with that in order for this to work. Okay. And of course, if you're going with our preferred provider, then we can certainly help you with all of that. You do not have to use our preferred provider to make that work.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Absolutely. Okay, so lastly, in the client experience, the purchase product. Again, they've got a button that says purchase product. They click on that, and it will take them to a window that looks something like this. And it will start with your featured products, if you have any. Now, they can hit category or they can hit manufacturer, and they can scroll through other products that are in your, that are available to be sold. You don't have to have imagery, but it's highly recommended. And it's very simple in your software, in inventory. If you're selling an item online, there is a button that says upload image. So whether you've taken those pictures with your smartphone of the actual product sitting on your shelf, or if you simply went online to maybe the Paul Mitchell site and you downloaded an image of a particular product and saved it to your computer, you can upload it into your inventory. If it is uploaded, then you will in fact have imagery. So they see something like this. If they were to click on one of your featured products or go to category and choose shampoos, for instance, or skin creams or something like that, they can then choose the products that appear in that screen. So they choose a particular product, and it'll show them a screen like this. It will show them whether or not the product is in stock, who the manufacturer is, what the category is that it belongs in, any further description that you may have. Now, in this case, I don't have a description, but you could very easily have a description that may say something like, this product is for heat-treated hair, blah, 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 blah. You can have paragraphs of information there. So they've got the description and they have the price. They can then, if they choose, click Add to Cart, which will then bring them here, and they can check out, or they can go back to featured products or back to categories or back to manufacturers and continue to add products. But once they have clicked Checkout Now, they're brought to this screen where they're able to put in all of their information. They can check this box if they're shipping to a different address. If not, it'll go to the address that they have here. And they can then proceed to confirmation. By clicking this button, they'll be shown all of this information. And again, this is a screen that is going to be scrolled. So they scroll through, down to the bottom, proceed with purchase, continue shopping, empty cart, or they can even view your return policy if you have one. So they hit proceed to purchase, and they get a screen that looks like this. Thank you for your order. Your authorization code is, you've been charged this amount. You will be sent an email receipt of your transaction today, and they get their receipt emailed to them. Obviously, their card number is going to be X'd out. All of the information is there so that they know that the sale has been made successfully and they have received a receipt. On your end, in the software itself, a badge pops up that lets you know that an online purchase of product has been made, and you're able then to, and it'll even allow you to print out a shipping label, and you can take that product off of your shelf. When you process that order, it will remove that product from your inventory. Those are your client app experiences. Now we're going to talk about the staff app. So the first thing we're going to do, go ahead. Please, go right ahead. Go ahead.
One is, in terms of, like, let's say they did buy a product and they entered all their information. Does the app save their information for them, or do they have to enter it every time they do a purchase?
Actually, that's going to be based on their smartphone. Yes, there are phones that will store all of that information. And with that system, and you can also have other things like B of A does it as well. I know Wells Fargo does it as well, where it will pre-populate everything from your last purchase. But they do not have to have that. So it will not be automatic. That's going to be based on smartphone choices.
Okay.
But it can do that, yes. But the app itself is not going to do that.
Okay. The second question was, we have a Shopify already set up with all these products. Would it link directly to that, or would it just be having to populate this one again with the same products?
It will not link directly to that. No, this is going through your product purchase through the online store.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
My pleasure. Okay, so let's take a look at the staff app now. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at book appointment. That's the first thing. So this is what your employee has on their phone, which obviously is going to be a little bit different than what the client has. So if the client clicks on book appointment, they're brought to a window that asks them to put in the first few letters of the last name of the person they'd like to book for. This is important for you to understand. They cannot book an appointment for a customer that is not already in your database. Okay?
Okay.
So if it's someone brand new, then that customer should download the app and they can register and they can update their information, and they have created a client file. By doing so, your staff member now will be able to book them. So let's say you're having lunch with a friend who's never visited you before. They're in from out of town, and they were like, hey, do you think that you could see me tomorrow at 3 o'clock? And you say, sure. Well, they've never been in before. So you would say, you know what, if you want me to do it now, I'm going to need you to download the app and register and put yourself in the system, and I'll book you. If they're already in the system, however, this is the process. You put in the last few digits of the last name, the first few letters of the last name, not digits, and then you would press up Lookup Client. So you hit Lookup Client, and what's going to happen is you're going to get a list of all of your customers that start with those letters. You can scroll through that and choose one. And when you have chosen one, it'll look something like this.
Is it salon's customers, or is it the individual stylist customers?
No, it's the salon's customers.
Okay.
They can book for anybody that's in your database.
Okay.
So they're able to choose the name of the customer that they'd like to book for, and then they can select a service, just like the client did when they went through that process. And the list of services will appear. Now, this is where it's going to be a little bit different. The only services that will appear are services that that staff member provides. This will not be a complete list of services that the entire salon or spa provides. It will only be a list of services that that staff member offers. Okay? So then you've got the service that they've selected, and it asks for the date. So they click on date, and just like what the client did, they choose the date that they're interested in, and the date will appear, and they can then click on check times. A list of their available times will then be able to be scrolled through. Again, this is just for that staff member. Only the available times that that staff member has for that particular day that they've selected, that service can be booked on. So for instance, if the service was an hour-and-a-half long service and they only had, 1 hour-and-a-half opening, then they would only have one option. Even if they had a half hour open at this time and a half hour open at that time, if they've only got an hour-and-a-half opening one time that day, then that would be the only option they would be given if the service itself takes an hour-and-a-half. So however long that service takes may adjust what times they see available. So they choose their time and they select confirmation, and it will tell them you're about to book an appointment. Brianne Johnson, euphoric facial, 5/5/17 at 10:30 a.m. If they click on book appointment, the appointment has been booked successfully, and that appointment appears on your appointment book in the salon. And it will have the word web next to it so that you know that it was booked online and not in-house. And it will have your unique web color as well, again, just so that visually you can see it very easily that it was booked online. Now, you don't have to just look at your appointment book in order to see what appointments were booked online. You can, in fact, run a report that will show you every appointment that was booked online for whatever date or date range you've selected. So that is your staff's version of booking an appointment through their smartphone. Now,
okay, and a quick question here too.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
What are the possibilities of being able to potentially disable that portion of the stylist app?
Oh, yeah, okay. That's actually fairly simple. When you are setting up appointments online through the online store, because that's what the app is communicating with, when you are setting that up, you have the option to say, these members of my staff cannot book appointments online, and these can. In other words, they would not be available options. So yeah, it's really very simple.
Okay, good.
So yes, you can choose that. Next, we're going to be talking about check your appointments. So this is the staff member holding their app, and they click the button that says check your appointments. They can then choose a date range that they want to look at their appointments. They can do it for a single date, or they can do it for, like I did here, from May 4th to May 10th. After they've selected their from date and their to date, they then press the lookup button. And they will be shown every appointment that they have for that date range or for that particular date. Again, they can scroll through and they can see dozens and dozens of appointments perhaps. And they will have the option to unbook that appointment or simply select return to schedule so that they can choose different dates. If they choose unbook that appointment, then it will show that the appointment has been unbooked and then they can go back. It's that simple. They can unbook an individual appointment and it will confirm it with them, or as I said, they can just go back after they've looked at their schedule for a particular date range. Next, we have the client retail history. Now, this is not for the client. This is for the staff member. Now, remember, on the client side, when the client looks at their retail history, they're going to see everything that they've ever purchased from the salon. Whereas with the staff member, and they click on the client lookup, they put in just like when they're booking an appointment, they put in the first few letters of a client's name, and it doesn't have to just be 3 letters, by the way. It can be longer than that. The more letters they put in, the shorter the list is going to be, and they press Lookup Client. Again, they'll be given a list of all of the customers whose last name starts with that. They choose the customer that they are interested in and press Lookup History. And all of the history will appear that staff member has sold to that customer. Let me just make sure that I've got that right, because I know the verbiage is right here.
I'll check that out.
I lied. It is not, it used to be. It used to just be based on the staff member. In this case, now it's every product they've ever purchased through and that was another change that somebody else had requested as well. So again, if they choose Lookup History, they will show every product that that particular client has ever purchased from the salon or spa. Okay. Then we have our client service history. Client service history, they click on that button that says Client Service History. Again, they do the lookup of the client just the way you've seen it already, so I'll just skip through that. It's really very simple and basic. They choose their customer. In this case, if the customer does not have, notice this one says between this client and the staff member. Unlike retail, this is only the services that that staff member has given to that customer. And one of 2 things will appear, either a screen that says no client service history found. Now, that doesn't mean that the client doesn't have history with the salon. It means that the client has no history with this staff member. Or it'll show something like this, which will show services that that staff member has given to that customer. Okay?
So as far as client history, are they able to also look up formulas and that sort of thing?
No. They're given the date, the service, and the price of that service. That's what they're given.
Okay, so only like if they were doing the mobile app and they were at the salon, they would still have to go to the computer to look up any formulas and that sort of thing.
That's right. Nowhere in the mobile app currently is the ability to pull up a formula.
Okay.
Okay, so the next is going to be the daily rundown. Now, this is what we made the change for you. It's not already on my screen, but like I said, the very next time I show this to somebody, it will be, because I just checked it this morning, and perfect. It's exactly what I was hoping for. The daily rundown is the simplest thing in the world. It's a single screen. If your staff member presses the button Daily Rundown, they will see a screen that looks something like this. Good afternoon, Amy. Your next appointment is on, and it will show them their next appointment from today into the future, but just their very next one. Then it will show total services scheduled for that day. Remember, this is the daily rundown. Total services scheduled for the day, total expected revenue, total services completed, total service revenue, total retail sold. Now, this is what has been changed. This line no longer says total retail sold. It now says total retail units sold, and then there is a number like 3 or 1 or 8 or whatever, rather than a dollar amount. So that's the line that has been changed. And that's going to be updated. I've already, like I said, I've already checked it on my app, on my phone. It's already done. And that was because of you. Next, total gratuities that were received that day, any total discounts that were given that day, total revenue so far, which may not match their total expected revenue, because this is the total number of services they have scheduled, but they've only done 3 so far, in this case anyway. If they were to check this at the end of the day and they had no no-shows, then they would have had 7 and 7, and their total should say something like 430 unless there were discounts applied.
Right.
Then their total expected revenue may still be different than their actual total revenue. Finally, their full schedule for the day will appear. So all 7 of their appointments will appear here. That's their daily rundown. And of course, this screen is scrollable. So again, if they have 7 appointments and only 2 of them are showing, they can scroll up and see all of those appointments. That's the daily rundown. And then finally, the Message Us works very, very similarly to the client's version of the Message Us. So your staff member can be away from the shop, press Message Us, and again, they will be able to type in a message, hit send. By the way, if they hit call, and the same thing goes for your customer, if they hit call, it will automatically pull up your telephone number in their smartphone's telephone registry so that they can immediately dial that number. So I could go into my Salon and Spa app as a client or as an operator, hit call, press the dial button, and your phone will start ringing. So again, just like the client app though, now notice though, the names aren't going to appear here on client, the names appear on the right under your staff. And there may be multiple. And you can click on any of them and their message will be here. And again, you can type in a message and hit send. And off it'll go, the message back to them. So is there any chance I can come in late tomorrow? You write, yes, of course, please be here by 11 a.m., send, and this is what they see on their screen. Yes, of course, please be here by 11 a.m. Of course, it would be the name of your business would be here rather than Salon Spa.
Okay, and so these messages are specifically between stylist and client and not necessarily between client and stylist, or sorry, client and desk?
No. These messages are not between client and stylist or stylist and client. These messages are between client and the spa or salon, and then the other version is between your staff member and the spa or salon. This is not a direct communication between a stylist or an esthetician and a client. This is going to the Transcend software there at the front desk or wherever.
Okay, great.
Okay. All right. And then here is that screen I was telling you about. If they pressed the call button, this is the screen that would have appeared. It may look different on different smartphones, but on my phone, this is the way it looks. I just hit here, and it dials the salon or spa.
Okay.
So with one click of a button, it pulls it right up so that they can do a quick phone call to you. That is the staff experience of the app. That's what you
with the exception of one that we discussed, and that was you had mentioned when a client has been checked in that there's some sort of a notification sent to the staff member, yeah?
Oh, certainly there can be, absolutely. There is a, let me, oh, I got it running. In the software itself, when you check a customer in, right click, check in, the client's 36 minutes late, good to know. I can send an instant message via text or via, via text. I can send an instant message to that operator. And you can also do that with the app as well. So that you can say this customer is checked in right through. Now, when I say the app, that's going to be the message system in the app that we were looking at, that blue box with the message. And I can hit a send on that, and it'll go directly to my staff member's smartphone. So I can either do an SMS text right from the appointment book, or I can do it into the app. So it's either going to be a regular text that they receive, or it will be through the app using your message center.
Okay, and it doesn't do it automatically. It's something they have to go through and actually specifically select.
Yeah, and the reason for that is because when you're checking somebody in, it's asking you what the message is. Now, you could have a default that says something like your client's here. You know, your client is checked in, something like that. But you can also have a message, a very different message that says, Teresa has just checked in. She's in a real hurry, and she's in a bad mood. You know, you could have something like that, which is obviously a much more effective message than your client is here. And because of the ability to put in any message you want, it's not automated.
Okay.
But hang on just a moment. Let me put you on hold for just one moment. And let me get a little bit of clarification as to whether or not that can be if you have a default message. Hang on.
Thank you for calling. We know your time is important, and we appreciate your patience. Someone will be with you right away.
Please continue to hold. A representative will be taking your call in just a moment.
Big comparison to see what it looks like too, like visually, what they've got done so far. But it just seems Boulevard on the right track, like a little bit like.
Please.
Sorry about that. Didn't mean to leave you on hold quite so long. I have some very good news for you. Because that was something that had already been discussed. Yeah, it's already there. So in this case, when I right-click and I check somebody in, I don't have to go through any additional process. If you have a default message in there, then when you check somebody in, again, default message, you go to check in and you have checked them in, Abigail would have gotten an instant message to her app that lets her know that Teresa DeBacchi has just checked in. And that's all it'll say. It's not going to give any additional information. It'll just let her know that Teresa DeBacchi has checked in for her 11 o'clock appointment. That's it.
And that's,
yes,
through
that's already in the app. Yeah, in your software, you're checking them in. In the Transcend software, you're going through the process of checking somebody in. But you don't need to do anything special. Once you've checked them in, your staff member, through their app, gets a notification that their client has checked in. If they are not logged into their app, then they will get a notification badge, a little ping, and a little notification badge appears at the top, just like if they got a text from somebody and they weren't logged into text. And they can see then what the message is, and in this case it would say, Teresa DeBacchi has checked in for her 11 o'clock.
Okay, great. Thank you.
My pleasure. I'm glad I asked. I knew that there was something going on with that, which is why I felt I should ask, but there you are. I want you guys to know, by the way, that I have been recording this. I can send you the PowerPoints as well if you like, but actually we're going to have them on our website in just a matter of days. But I've been recording this, so if you'd like, I can actually email you this class that you just had with me, so that you can go through it all over again if you want, or give it to somebody who wasn't able to attend this today. But I just want you to be aware. And it's actually yours, meaning you'll hear your voice on it and my voice, your questions, etc.
Okay. Then yeah, please send it through.
Absolutely. What email address would you like me to send that to?
Can you send it to Orlando, ORLANDO, at LUXE, or sorry, ArtLab, ARTLAB salon.com.
ARTLAB salon.com.
And David at luxelab.com.
Oh, okay. David at luxelab.com. LUXE?
LUXELAB, yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that E was there. Okay. All right. Yes, absolutely. I'll send that to both of those email addresses as soon as we're done here. Okay, so that's actually it. Those are all of the different screens that are available. Do you have any questions regarding that, or go ahead, please?
Yeah, one last from me, and Orlando may have some, but you had mentioned that it's $100 a month. Is that for both the client app and the hairdresser app, or just for one?
No, you get both. You can't do just one, basically. It's both. So it's $99 a month, and you get an unlimited number of staff apps and an unlimited number of client apps. And those are downloadable from Google Play and the Apple App Store.
Okay, great.
And again, though, there obviously is a setup process that goes through that. And so you're going to supply us with some artwork, or you're going to choose artwork of your own. Or you're going to choose artwork that we can supply you. And also your online store needs to be set up properly as well. And once you've got those two things going, and of course this only works in the cloud. If you don't have the cloud version of the software, you can't get the app.
Okay.
So
the cloud version of the software. Do we have that?
I don't know. I could check.
And does the cloud version of the software cost more?
No, it doesn't. Well, actually, it can. The base is exactly the same. So there's no price difference there. Depending on the number of computers you have running the software simultaneously, and I'm not talking about the app now, I'm talking about Transcend. The number of them that you have accessing the software simultaneously, those have $9 a month subscriber access licenses. So unlike a workstation license, you've got a subscriber access license that's $9 a month. So yeah, it can be more expensive depending on the number of computers you have accessing the software simultaneously, but it can also be exactly the same price.
Okay. So if we needed to migrate to the cloud version, how difficult is that?
I can check right now. Hang on just a second. Just take a peek and see if you...
From us on the cloud version, but not anybody else. Because it runs through internet, and we were having issues with the internet going in and out, so we never moved to the cloud.
Are you still?
That's not... You did pretty well. We do sometimes, but we went through this whole thing without pretty much one issue. I mean, beginning.
There's been no recent issues.
Nothing major.
Okay. Yeah, you are not currently in the cloud. So if you like, I can send you a proposal for the cloud, and I can email that to David at luxelab.com, and you can approve it if you like. Along with that proposal, there's a little green button to approve it. If you do that, then what's going to happen is we're going to schedule a time to migrate your current data from your installed version of the software into the cloud and assign you your login credentials so that you can access the software from anywhere in the world as long as you have internet access.
Okay. And so there wouldn't be any kind of like lag time?
Well, that is going to depend on your internet. Of course, the cloud version of the software requires internet access. So if your internet were to go down, God forbid, well, if your internet is terrible, if you were using a dial-up, for instance, then yeah, you're going to have some slowdown. But it's, but I can show you here if you'd like. Let me bear with me just.
Well, my question was more in terms of migrating the existing data into the cloud version. Is there any issue with that? That would take time?
Oh no. Well, it takes about 2 hours, but we try to schedule that outside of your hours normally. We schedule that time with you, but it usually takes about 2 hours.
All right.
And yeah, during that time, obviously, you wouldn't be using your software, and then the next time you'd use your software would be with the login credentials.
Okay. Yeah, that was my primary question.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'll look forward to the email and talk with my partners about the whole thing, and we'll figure out where to go from there. Okay.
My pleasure. I'll go ahead and get that. I'm going to send you 2 emails then. I'm going to send you one, which is going to be a proposal for the cloud, and the other is going to be a copy of this class.
Great. Thanks so much.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Good day.
Bye. Yeah.